Hey guys, Deathslander Magic here, and it's time for the April edition of the MTG Arena State of the Game, and I was too lazy to read any of this ahead of time. So I don't know whether to preface it as a wonderful, great, future outlook and improvement to the game, or absolutely not. I guess we'll find out together. But the last two were pretty bad, and every single one before that was awesome. So, we'll see. But first, little itty-bitty mini-story. Apparently ChannelFireball is now charging money. They are paywalling and requiring some kind of pro subscription for people to read their crappy articles. Now, I don't think I've ever read any of their articles, but people have told me they just kind of, promote net decking, have pros come on and say some BS and then pay them, and then try to hype up cards that they themselves sell. Probably ones that they have too much of. In fact, I think I heard a rumor that years ago they actually did do that. They paid pros to hype up cards that weren't selling very well that they had too many of. Don't know if it's true, but now you get the opportunity to pay money to look at that crap, so don't do that. Hey, if you want to pay a small amount of money for shitty content, my Patreon link is down in the description, just saying. As far as the cool crap that I'm mailing out to my patrons, getting a little bit delayed because I can't get any product from anywhere, but it's coming. Anyway, this state of the beta starts with the usual corporate nonsense fluff intro, which is big monsters, big features, big plans for the year ahead. Are they having a monster truck rally? Come watch Bigfoot crush a 99 Dodge Neon. Anyway, in this month's game update, we'll share our plan to provide more ways to play, compete, and connect in Magic the Gathering Arena. Play safe, play at home, play with friends, and play now. So then they have a video, which usually is worth watching, but it usually just reiterates what's in the text anyway, so I'm just going to skip it for now. So after they tell you to go look at the full card image gallery for some reason that doesn't really fit anything, but okay, they say limited time Godzilla Monster Series. So until May 21st, which is quite a while, players who enter an Ikoria Lair of Behemoths limited event. And I believe limited includes sealed and draft, but will they actually run sealed is the question. But it does technically encompass both of those. So if you enter a limited event of some sort, you will receive a Godzilla Monster Series card style in addition to the normal event rewards. So that's kind of a cool little bonus. I like that. And you will receive one each time you enter until the deadline or until you've added all 18 to your collection. I don't think many people will be running 18 of them, but then again, when I run a draft, I usually get 450 gems minimum back. I mean, it depends how bad my pool is. Still kind of a losing prospect, but I do know that people jump onto MTGO just to do nothing but drafts. So I'd assume that those people exist in Arena too. That's why they really should have a half price, you don't keep any of the cards draft, or honestly, probably 1/3 the price, and have very minimal rewards or something, just like a practice draft, a mini draft, a draft junior. I would love that. The only reason it's so expensive is because you get to keep the cards. I mean, if they just take that away and let me just draft, just saying. I mean, letting people pay for something or letting people pay slightly less for nothing is actually a very profitable way to let them progress slower while spending money on Arena. I mean, there is some motivation to do this. So, I mean, as far as card styles go, these are pretty stylish. I mean, you're getting completely different art. It's technically a different, character. It kind of has a different card title, almost. As far as, really fancy alternatives go, this is pretty much the max. So they say because this is such a huge milestone, and if you read between the lines, it's they just really want you to try the new feature. But really, because this could be a disaster and backfire spectacularly, one of those reasons, they're giving every single player of Arena a complimentary draft token. That is no joke. Those things are worth what, $10? Is one free draft and you keep the cards. I mean, come on. So they say all you need to do is log in within 2 weeks of Ikoria's release to claim yours. And I think they never expire. So even if you're taking a break from Arena, just log in, log out, So more about this player draft. They mean drafting with other humans instead of that god-awful AI. Starting Thursday, 2 new player draft modes will be available in-game as a higher skill competitive experience. Yeah, low skill would be predicting what the AI is going to do and then manipulating it, yeah. Anyway, you got more rewards on the line. Please don't tell me you up the price of it. This mode plays reasonably similar to what you've come to expect on Magic the Gathering Arena. I really thought they were going to say MTGO, and closely replicates the experience that players might have drafting with other people in tabletop Magic. I mean, I kind of get the second half of that. Anyway, let's start with the basics. Player draft will be available for best of 1 and best of 3 drafts. Good, because best of 3 literally take all day. Like, we're talking multiple hours. I just cannot tolerate that, especially if I'm stuck with a bad pool. And then I get to play 2 to 3 times as many games with it. Yay! I just came from doing a draft, and as soon as I won 3 in a row, they were like, okay, seriously, screw this guy. I'm literally in like bronze tier 3, and they're putting me up against top ranked silver people, and every single opponent drafted Heliod. Oh, actually, and every single opponent was playing my exact colors, white-green, because, you know, the AI is very easy to predict and manipulate in the existing draft, just saying. And all of them also had Aspect of the Hydra. I did actually end up beating 2 of them, so I finished with like 5 wins and like 3 losses. But yeah, every single game was just bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. Utterly ridiculous. After you've won too many, they're like, you are going to lose now, period. And they start putting you up against people with like the draft pool sent down from heaven. I'm getting really sick of that rigged shit. And by the way, they admit they do this. This is no suspicion. They literally said this is how it works and then laid out like the mathematics of how it works. So they're doing it on purpose. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's like an event-specific numeric rating, and just go read it if you're interested. So best of 1, best of 3, cool. Best of 1 bot drafts will still be available and will continue to rotate every 2 weeks. Okay, so if you don't want this, they won't force you to draft with other people. Which, I mean, it can either go really good or really bad. It, like I'm saying from experience in real life. Either people at the table are idiots and they're sitting way too close to you and they affect your pool because they're idiots, or everybody knows what they're doing and it works somewhat well. But best of 3 bot drafts will no longer be available. It will all be with players. I don't know why they felt the need to do that. I guess old school is old school, whatever. And if the current bot draft and player draft feature the same set, they will play in separate queues. Good. Because the power level is going to be very different when, as I have said, the AI is super exploitable and predictable. And then player drafts will function like leagues. I'm pretty sure that's an MTGO reference and I don't play it, so thanks for that. And you'll be matched against players outside of your draft pod. Yeah, I would assume they wouldn't expect people to stay around for the entire draft. It would be more realistic, but like, I mean, come on. So when joining a player draft, you'll be placed at a digital table until you are paired with 7 other players. Once all 8 players are queued up, you'll confirm your readiness before the draft begins. From there, the draft will commence similarly to how it would against bots, with each player picking a card from their current pack and then passing it to the other players. We did add one little failsafe to the UX, which means user experience. They meant UI, user interface. That's literally a typo. Or they don't know what the acronym UI means. I'm not sure which is scarier. Anyway, they added one little failsafe to the UI where a single click reserves a card but doesn't automatically select it as your pick. Double clicking, dragging the card to your deck, and or hitting confirm pick will lock your pick. I do appreciate that. Misclicks are a thing. And by the way, has anybody noticed that just mousing over the mulligan or don't mulligan button clicks it now? That's getting really old really quick. So they say we've upgraded the draft UI, not UX, to help convey some of these intricacies, such as whether you are passing to your right or left. I mean, that is important, but it's still digital. It's like, and you don't know the people, you don't know their tendencies, you haven't illegally peeked at their cards, so like, whatever, who cares, but okay. As well as show you the status of the other players' draft picks, but not the picks themselves. What, like how many they've picked? I mean, they can't get more than one ahead of you or the packs would pile up, unless they're allowing that to happen? I don't know what the point of that is. To ensure the player draft continues at a reasonable pace, you will have only a limited amount of time to make your choice. Duh. I mean, I've done this on X-Mage. I've done, like, actual human drafts. And let me just point out, in every single one, somebody leaves. At least one person leaves, because people are assholes. Maybe if it's not free and there is something on the line, people won't just get up and leave, but people disconnect and the game crashes. Like, it's a thing, you know? People's internet's cut out. But anyway, they say, for example, you'll have the most time to pick your first pack. The pick number 1 will be approximately 70 seconds. However, by the time you get down to pack 3, pick 7, these are really arbitrary amounts. This time will be reduced to 30 seconds. If you don't select a card before the time runs out, the game will pick for you. If you reserved a card by a single click, it will pick that one when it expires, which is nice. Like if you think you selected it and forgot to double click or whatever, that's kind of cool. They put some thought into this, except that they keep calling it a UX instead of a UI. Once the drafting portion is complete, you'll be paired with players who have also drafted against each other, but not necessarily in the same pod. I mean, going up against the same pod would be nice because then you're going to get less mirror matches, but it's not realistically doable, because maybe somebody left. So tomorrow you will get the access to the free token for a draft, and also it will be live, the human draft and the AI draft. So just to make sure that the maximum amount of confusion is achieved, they have renamed everything again. So Premier Draft is now Best of One Player Draft, current set ranked. Ranked Draft is now Quick Draft, which is Best of One Bot Draft and set rotates bi-weekly ranked. And then Traditional Draft is now Traditional Draft Asterisk. So they didn't actually rename it, but it says the asterisk is you will now draft against other players, not bots. Oh, so it's the same name but a different thing. Okay, there we go. So Best of 3 Player Draft, current set unranked. That makes sense for Traditional Draft. I actually would have expected that. Why don't they just put name of the thing that you're drafting and then the word draft? How about that? I mean, if Premier Draft is just current set, just call it that. I don't need to translate Premier to, what's the most recent set in my head, and then remember that I'm supposed to do that. Just call it like Ikoria Draft. Jeez. And if you didn't notice by me reading this, there is some serious overlap between them. So have fun trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So they also have the schedule. It's like Ikoria, Core Set 2020, Ikoria, then War of the Spark. Oh boy. Well, at least it's not Theros, because that is not a fun draft set at all. So the entry and rewards have changed. I'm sure it's in favor of the player and it's more generous, right? We'll be trying out a new event structure for traditional drafts, which is Best of 3 human only, if I remember correctly from what I just said. Something more akin to what you might expect when playing matches at your local gaming store. Well, I wouldn't expect to do that at all right now, actually. Haha, dark humor. When participating, you'll play a total of 3 matches and receive prizes based on your number of wins. Wait, 3 matches? Do they mean 3 rounds or 3 matches? Because it sounds like they're saying rounds, but they're saying matches. Well, considering the normal best of one ones are like you get to 7 or 8 or whatever without losing 3, and yeah, I don't want to do that times 2.5. No thanks. So I assume they mean 3 rounds because it says 3 wins, you get 3,000 gems 6 packs. 2 wins, you get 1,000 gems 4 packs. And 0 to 1 win, you get 1 pack. So your first win means nothing. It's the same as getting 0. Wow. Thanks. So unless you absolutely sweep, you do flawlessly, you are going to lose gems because the entry fee is 1,500 gems or 10,000 gold. Now that said, I thought it was 2,000 gems to enter, so they might have actually lowered that. So I mean, you could win 3,000 gems and it's only 1,500 to enter. That is 2 to 1. Like you have to do perfectly. And then by the way, even if you got 2 wins out of 3, you get 1,000 gems and then 4 packs, which is pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty sure 4 packs don't cost 500 gems, and you just got 1,000 back, and then there's only 500 difference between your entry fee and the winnings. So what they're saying is don't bomb out. I don't know, this is pretty high stakes, but I mean, it's best of 3. I'm glad that they're shortening it to just 3 rounds, or as they put it, 3 matches, which it's not. So that's traditional draft. Now they go on to describe Premier Draft. But Premier just means it's the latest one. So what if it's Ikoria Best of 3? Is that traditional or Premier or both? Is it Premier traditional? Like I said, there's some overlap here. I don't get it, but just look at the event before you enter it. They'll tell you what the hell it is and then click on it if you want. I mean, that's how I'm going to do it. So they say that they want the Premier Draft to be aptly named, so they've structured the entry fee and reward structure around this concept. I don't think you really need to give out the best rewards for the newest set to come out because people really, really, really need those cards. So if anything, the rewards should be lower for the latest set. You should reward people higher for drafting a set that they already have all the cards for that they want, Then again, if it's the latest set, you ain't going to generate crap for repeats and you're not going to open the vault or get any kind of wild cards, so I mean, maybe they should crank up the rewards. Anytime they want to give me more rewards, I ain't going to complain about it. So they say we currently plan for these to have a higher entry fee when compared to Quick Draft. Great. But with rewards that scale accordingly. I don't like that. Like, up the entry fee and up the rewards, that's just kind of anti-consumer because, like, what if we just don't have the gems? Oh, then I guess we have to buy them. So I just realized I completely misspoke before when I said that 1,500 gems was down from 2,000. The sealed events, I believe, were 2,000, unless I was wrong about best of 3 and it was 2,000. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I entered one of those, just a normal-ass draft for 750 gems. But I know for a fact that it was 5,000 gold because I literally just did it 30 minutes ago. So they've now doubled it to 1,500 gems or 10,000 gold. So you are now like doubling down and gambling with double your currency. Not a good idea. And that is honestly a ridiculous amount of gold. Nobody just has 10,000 gold laying around. That's like a week's worth of rewards. That's ridiculous. So this premier draft crap is still best of 1, and it's 7 wins or 3 losses, whatever comes first. Wait till you hear these rewards. You want to talk about high risk, high reward. 0 wins, you get 50 gems out of your 1,500 back and 1 pack. That's it. Holy shit. You almost have to try to go 0 wins, but I have done it once when my pool was that much of an absolute tragedy. Literally including the first pack, because the rare was some unplayable, like, generic 3-color garbage or whatever. I didn't pull a single rare. I did not draft one on-color rare, and then even my uncommons were shit. They just would not pass me an on-color uncommon. I think I even switched colors after the 4th pick, and it still didn't matter. So trust me, going 0-3 is a thing. So if you drop 1,500 gems worth and got 50 back, and it's all because they gave you shit cards in your pool, wow, that is a kick in both nuts. Let me just say, if you get 2 losses in any event, your third opponent will be the least talented person or thing you have ever played up against in your entire life. But with a shitty enough pool or a shitty enough opening hand into like a mull to 5, you could lose any game, trust me. But anyway, if you manage to scrape by with 1 win with a shit pool, you get 100 gems and 1 pack. So they gave you an extra 50. Wow, so then you only lost 1,400 gems. That's a loss of like $8. Now, if you get 2 wins, 3 losses, okay, below average pool, but not bad. I mean, I would expect to finish pretty much the average draft 3-3. Then again, if you get those first 2 wins early instead of losing early, your opponents are going to, or your third opponent is going to be insane. Because they want to limit the amount of rewards going out total, it's virtually guaranteed to be somebody who has the same record as you, 2-0. If they can't find that, they'll just find somebody ranked an entire full rank higher than you. I mean, an entire color higher than you. Like, if you're bronze 2, they're going silver 2. I've had such a good bronze pool that I went 6-0 with it, and they matched me up with gold people. So yeah, if you get 2 wins, you get 250 gems, which is still crap, but then you get 2 packs. So it's like, well, okay. I mean, that's still pretty terrible for that performance, but at least it's 2 packs. The problem is I would expect that to happen a reasonable amount of the time. But I also expect to go like 5-3 a lot of the time. So 3 wins, here we go. 1,000 gems, 2 packs. That's got to be pretty damn close to the 1,500 you paid to get in. So if you go even, you do not have an overall losing record, you now get 4 times the amount of gems that you would for coming in just barely below average. But like I said, you get 2 wins in a row, you are going to get absolutely stomped in the nuts, but you have to lose 3 times in a row to stay at 2-3. So if you win even just the first game, you're probably pretty well off. And they don't usually rig you too hard if you win the first one. Now, 4 wins, this is where it gets interesting. 1,400 gems in 3 packs. So it's still technically losing, even though you had a winning record, but not really because you got 3 packs. I mean, you lost 100 gems, but you gained 3 packs. So if you're drafting, you're pretty much spending gems on packs, unless you can get 5 wins, which is 1,600 gems, so you profit 100 and get 3 packs. Now, making a profit at only the 4 win spot, that is pretty damn good, because I don't think you can do that right now. I think to profit, you have to sweep right now. Okay, let's check. It's not quite that vicious. Right now, it's, 5,000 gold to enter, 750, whatever. 3 losses, you're out. The first one right now is 50 gems in 1 pack. So they're keeping that, except, oh wait, charging you 1,500 entry. That's a dick move. Anyway, so that's 0 wins. You get 1 win right now, you get 100 gems in a pack. So the same, except not really, because like I said, the entry fee is double. Then it goes to 200 gems 1 pack, 300 gems 1 pack. So if you want to finally make a profit, you have to get 6 wins. That's where it goes to 850, so you profit 100. But on this table, if you get 5 wins, you profit 100. So right now, 7 wins, regardless of the number of losses, will get you 950 gems, but only 2 packs. And by the way, 6 wins is 850 gems in 1 pack. So they're really going top heavy on this because they're really confident that their AI system will screw you over. If you win too much, they will put you up against an insanely difficult opponent, and they reduce the number of prizes total that go out. Clear as day they're doing this. I think they even admitted it. By taking like a 4-0 person and a 4-0 person and making them verse each other. One of the two is going to lose. And then they take like somebody else who's maybe like 5-2 and they just need one more loss. And then they make you the assassin at like 3-2, where one of the two of you is going to get eliminated in the next round, and they'll put you up against each other. So the system is designed to let the least number of people get 5 wins, 6 wins, or 7 wins. Just FYI, in case you didn't know it worked that way. That's a mixture of what I witnessed and what they said about your like internal number ranking and your like event specific rank or whatever. It's all these terms and crap. So anyway, yeah, 6 wins will get you 1,800 gems in 5 packs. I mean, 5 packs, guys. Remember, 6 wins with like 0 losses right now gets you 850 gems for a 750 entry and 1 pack. But if you go 6 wins in the new system, which costs double to enter, you're going to profit 300 gems and get 5 packs. And then 7 wins is 2,200 gems, a profit of 700 and 6 packs. I mean, this is like no joke. Now, one season I ran 6 drafts, okay? So just because I made it to the high silver league, if not the low gold league, I don't remember. You start playing round 1 at that point against people who know what they are doing. And if you go up against somebody, like you're in high silver and you go up against somebody bronze, it's because their deck just kicked the living crap out of their first like 5 opponents. So the more drafts you play, because your ranking is higher, it's a hybrid between how you're doing historically lifetime or this season, I should say, and how you're doing in this event. They take both into consideration, unfortunately. So I noticed in the 4th and 5th drafts, people really knew how to play and they really drafted some high powers. So if you win your first draft and you get like 5 wins and you win the next one and get 6 wins, you're like, oh my God, I made a profit both times. I'm going to keep doing this. And then you play like 3 more and you're like, what the hell happened? Your opponents got harder. That's what happened. So I wouldn't try to sneak away with too many of these profit ones if you do really, really well in the first couple. Just saying. So what do you guys think of this? I think they just don't want people going, I could draft, but even if I do amazing, I'm going to profit like 1 pack and like 50 gems. Like, who cares? I think for having like a 2-1 record, you should get an amazing reward. And right now that would be sitting at 1,800 gems, 5 packs. So I do kind of like this, but boy, you will get punished for a bad pool. There are no participation trophies in this one. If your pool's bad enough by pack 3, just grab all the rares and money because you're not going to win. It's like looking at this, you might as well just say screw it and just start money drafting, rare drafting on this because all the cards are worth the same. Because even if you get 1 or 2 wins, it's nothing. It is effectively nothing. If you do not get to 3 wins, you get basically nothing. And I don't love that, but I mean, they can't just give away a ton of gems across the whole board. So if they give it to the top, they got to take it away from the bottom. I get it. I kind of like this because it's kind of exciting. It's kind of like a higher reward, and I kind of want to go for it. But I'm going to have a different opinion next time I go 2 and 3. I guarantee you that. So I'm very curious what you guys think of this. Now, for the record, in case I didn't mention this, Premier Draft is the one that costs 1,500 gems or 10,000 gold. And they got these giant-ass rewards. But Quick Draft, which will be anything other than the latest set, is the same. It'll be 750 to enter or 5,000 coins, same prize structure. So if you like the whole, like, oh, I've got a little bit of padding on the low end, I spent 750, I went 2 and 3, and I got 200 gems in a pack out of it. If you're, like, cool with that because that's a little bit of a parachute, then just don't play the latest one. So at least they're not eliminating the old pay table completely. So I think people can do either. It's just you won't have your choice of what to play with. So a couple more things. They say coming soon, which is always the very exciting part. F&M at home updates, ensuring the health and well-being of our employees, fans, and partners is blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Initiatives. Yeah, shut up. April 17th, Ikoria Lair of the Behemoth Lair will... Wait. Yeah, Ikoria Lair of the Behemoth Lair. What? Anyway, they say play any event to be eligible to receive a reward from your local gaming store. Oh, any at all. Cool. So it's not just like pay 10 F&M, yeehaw. I'm curious to see how that's going, though. And then April 24th, it'll be specifically Singleton. May 1st is Artisan. Love that. Artisan is the best thing ever invented. It's Pauper, except with uncommons, but it's not eternal. You know, it's not 26,000 cards. It's just standard. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with Historic Artisan either. It's just take out the rares and mythics, and all of a sudden Magic is fun again. I had more fun playing the Artisan events than anything they've ever done since they launched Arena. Do not miss that May 1st. May 8th is Pauper, if you're into that. I think the pool is a little too restricted in standard for only using commons. I did not enjoy that at all. It just came down to run one of two decks, and they're overpowered as balls because of tribal synergy, and the rest fell flat on their ass. So Pauper, way too weak, way too restrictive, way too dynamic. Artisan, okay, you could get creative, you could build all kinds of stuff without a bunch of broken shit coming in and ruining everybody's time. And then May 15th, Historic Brawl. Historic Brawl is an absolute riot. I love it. I mean, my white life gain deck is almost impossible to beat. Hell yeah, baby. That's my commander. What's up? Here comes the sun, bitches. So yeah, May is going to be amazing. Artisan into Pauper, into Historic Brawl. Totally epic. Maybe Pauper will be a little bit better now that we have like 2 more sets legal. I don't know. Oh, and did they mention that every single one of these events have no in-game entry fee and will reward rare or mythic ICRs for your first and second win? And if you hook in your, local store, you get all the promo codes for like in-game cool stuff. This one's some sort of promo pack instead of just sleeves. That's kind of wild. So they're kind of imitating what you would actually get at F&M. I can't wait to see the contents of this. They don't really say, but they got me interested. If it's like alternate art, like card styles with the card or either or, I mean, those promo packs are like no joke. They're worth like $20 in paper on average. You are obviously limited to doing 1 code per week because you're only supposed to get 1 code per week per F&M at home, LGS thing. Oh, I guess they do say what you get. This is in a completely different section. They made it look like they were done talking about that. Okay, you get card styles, avatars, card sleeves, and pets, some of which were previously unavailable. Ooh, so they're going full-blown loot box on this, which I don't mind because they're free. Well, I guess if your LGS decided to not make it free, but whatever. But you can open it and get an entire pet, like a whole freaking pet. Also, they're reworking how cards look. They're shifting the power and toughness from the center to the bottom right, which, I mean, if you think about it, it's probably where it should be. And then all the modifiers, instead of being in the bottom right, like, if it's trample, it has a little trample symbol in the bottom right, and I think the secondary position is the left, they're just cramming it all on the left. And if there's more than one effect, like it's flying and trample and something else, they just put ... and you'll be able to see what it does. That's kind of cool. I like that. I mean, I would do it maybe with like color coding or something, but whatever. Now, it's not exactly get above 1 or 2 abilities go ... It's different types of effects will always show up and different ones won't, but I think it's a max of 2. I mean, basically, you'll just see how it works. So just don't think that something doesn't have trample just because you don't see trample on it. It might be under the ... or it might have a ... just because it's read more because it's a complicated ability. Oh, and gained abilities will be blue, which will probably be from the tokens. I mean, you can read this whole thing if you want. It'll be pretty obvious when you're using it, though. Now, this is the ultimate facepalm right here if you're a programmer. They're finally moving to a 64-bit client. That's right. They started a game design project in, I believe, 2018 it would have had to have been. And they, by default, were like, let's set this project up as 32-bit. For comparison, all of the projects that we did in my programming class in college, and I graduated from college in 2007, were 64-bit. Windows Vista was the first big push to go to 64-bit, and they were still selling probably roughly equal amounts of both, maybe more 64-bit, because people just knew Vista needed more than 4 gigs of RAM usually. And then with 7, I mean, nobody in their right mind bought 7 32-bit. So that was like 07 to 2010-ish. So in 2018, they're like, let's make this 32-bit and then redo all the code later to make it 64-bit. What the actual hell were they thinking? Do they know how difficult it is to convert a 32-bit app to 64-bit? I didn't think that the game engine that they were using supported 32-bit. The last 32-bit program that I remember having trouble with was Photoshop CS3 because I had to open a 585 megapixel project and it needed more than 4 gigs of RAM to do that. My system had 32 gigs, but it didn't matter because the program was 32-bit. So the program couldn't address more than 4 gigs of RAM. Now, if Arena uses more than 4 gigs of RAM, something done screwed up, okay? So it's not the biggest deal, except that if you want to run on Mac OS, modern day Mac OSs, you're going to have to be 64-bit. They no longer support 32-bit code at all. And to call that a controversial decision on Apple's part would be an understatement. I'm still pissed that I can't natively run 16-bit shit on Windows 10, let alone 7. So they don't have a release date, but I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Does anybody want Mac customers, Mac fanboy douchebags in the game? No thanks. The community's a bunch of like pretentious, net-decking, slow-playing, inconsiderate douchebags. We don't need to add more fuel to that fire, thanks. They're also in the very near future going to add Cube Draft. I didn't play the Cube event either because they designed the Cube. That's like the entire opposite of what the point of Cube is. The whole point of Cube is you made a cube that's custom to what you and your friends want to play. So I just blew off the entire event, didn't even look at the deck list. And also, the entry was ridiculous. It was a truly ridiculous amount of gems to play something that I didn't design. So no thanks. So I still don't really get what they're saying about how this will work. I assume you can make your own cube and then share it with your friends or something. They said something like that. I don't know. We'll see when it gets here. Historic roadmap. So for Historic, they don't have anything specific to announce at this time, but we'd like to make it clear that we'll be continuing to support Historic. I love that because it's not a very popular format, so they felt the need to say that. And they're going to try to make it more prominent in Arena as they expand their Eternal format offerings. Yeah, Eternal is a little generous. No, Eternal means every card ever, so it's actually the opposite of that. In fact, it doesn't even include every card ever made for Arena yet. But Historic Anthology 3 is coming out in May, so prepare to waste more money on that bullshit in May. Awesome. And by money, I mean wild cards, let's be honest. Also, in a completely unrelated topic, the Amonkhet Remaster. Work is going well on the Amonkhet Remaster, and you should expect that to arrive sometime this summer. I mean, yeah, I did. So they're continuing to work with Magic R&D on future planned Pioneer-focused set remasters, though they remain in concept for now. They've made very interesting contradictory statements about whether or not Pioneer and Historic are going to merge, so I don't really know what they mean by that. Yeah, going backwards in Standard is Pioneer focus, but are we going to have Pioneer and Historic as two separate things? Because that's really fragmenting Arena a little bit too much. Just saying. So next up, they want to remind us that the absolute worst thing to happen to Arena ever, mobile, will be coming. They say, just so we're clear, this is a big one, and it's going to take a lot of work to get us there. Yeah, don't. Stop the work right now. Save us all the headaches, because what can you expect from mobile players? A terrible UI where it takes them 30 times longer to click on or move anything or select anything because they're using a finger instead of a freaking mouse. Constant lag and disconnecting because mobile connections are shit and people usually play them like in elevators and cars and tunnels and trains and airplanes and whatever else. I mean, yeah, you could play from Wi-Fi, but like get out a laptop. And mobile phones are complete ass. They are like 1/50th the speed of my PC. And the screen resolution is usually lower. So to select, read, move, click on, or do anything, it is going to take like 5 times longer on a phone, and then they're just going to lag out and disconnect. So every action, every player on mobile basically will be a slow-playing dick, but on accident instead of on purpose like they are now. The mobile launch is going to be the worst thing to happen to the Arena ever. And what they need to do when they launch it is have a filter that says, I don't ever want to play against a mobile player. There you go. Done. Problem solved. Then you can roll it out as mobile as you want. Let all the mobile douchebags play with each other. I don't give a shit as long as I don't have to deal with it. And hopefully that'll be a feature. I would encourage you guys to notify the Arena team that that is a very much wanted feature right now so that they can start designing it right now. So they say it is still planned for 2020 sometime, and it will have cross-platform support. Cool, so I can fire up like 30 emulators and just cheat a draft? Awesome. By the way, about that human drafting, there's a known exploit on MTGO where people will draft overpowered shit by just agreeing ahead of time what colors to go on, and then they'll get like 50 people, and they'll all jump into draft at a very, very low time, like 4 a.m. US time, big lull in the traffic. So you could reasonably, if you all join as like a 50 to 100%, Facebook or Discord group or whatever, you could all get in there. So the tables will be almost exclusively like your people, and then you just say what table number are you at or whatever, and then they say, okay, you get green, you get blue, you get white, whatever, and then they just agree not to steal each other's cards and to purposely pass really, really good cards to each other, and then they all don't play against each other because you can just hold the pre-made deck, and it'll be double the power of a normal draft deck because nobody was interfering with you and there were 0 color collisions, and then you just go on to stomp the crap out of anybody else who drafted the normal way, the fair way. So the low traffic time attack exploit, or whatever the hell they were calling it, that might apply to Arena too. So just be very, very aware of that. I've been playing at 3 or 4 in the morning in like ranked platinum, and I'll play the same person 3 times. So let's just say I don't think there's a sufficient pool to have this exploit not work. So what they need to do is like block certain people from drafting against each other, or pop up a very like bad message, which is there's not enough people to draft humans right now. Try against AI or come back later. It would make the game look bad. It's like, hi, we don't have any customers right now. Awesome, our game's doing great. But it's the only way to prevent it. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people will do this while sitting in the same room even. Then they can see each other's packs and they're like, I want this card, pass me this, do this, do this, do this. And by the way, if you think I'm now telling people how to cheat, fix it, first of all. And secondly, everybody in the freaking world already knows that this goes on. I mean, this is widespread knowledge. I ain't, breaking the news on this one. So I'm just saying, you really might not want to try this human draft shit, because I think that will happen. So anyway, they do say that it won't be like a separate mobile thing. You'll be able to log in mobile to your same account, have all your cards, whatever, and piss everybody off by lagging. They also have some feature called player challenges, and they don't say at all what it is. They just say high skill cap, short duration. Okay. And it's still going to be X wins, Y losses. It's not going to be like a bracket thing or a tournament, like a formal thing. It's going to be like a normal event. It says it's different from their metagame challenges, whatever the hell that is. And they're highly competitive, but will differ from Mythic Point qualifiers. Yeah, I would hope so, because it's something completely different. Oh, they're saying the main difference is you won't need to pre-qualify, so good. And they will also be separate from esports MPL play. Why would they not be? Why would anybody think that a player challenge, that's some weird funny thing, would have anything to do with MPL play or competitive esports? So they say the goal is to have player entries support the prize pool. Oh, I see. So maybe they're going cash rewards, or maybe just like the top people get like 50,000 coins or gems or something. That actually would be cool as hell. So I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm interested, because I think I could do pretty damn well if they play something that's actually good, which would not be standard constructed. So that's it for today. I would say overall very, very, very positive. There's a couple concerning things in here, but the rest of it looks cool. I mean, they're just almost across the board putting up better, cooler, bigger rewards while giving the option to still play things the same way. They're adding a human draft if you're just sick of the AI draft and how shitty it is. Just be aware of it. But I think some people find it nice. The upcoming events sound awesome. That player challenge sounds awesome. The mobile thing sounds like shit, but whatever. And I'm not looking forward to the release of Ikoria at all. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I really like this. I don't like the whole, you spend 1,500 gems thing, and if you bomb out, you're bad. But I do like the giant prizes. That's cool. Everybody loves big, shiny prizes. So what do you guys think of all this? I am very curious. Let me know down in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next video.